Our next guest, road to stardom, reads like a fairy tale. She was discovered as an acting student at the University of Michigan and went on from co-ed to co-star on a hit NBC show, Grimm.
And here with more on her meteoric rise in life on television is Jacqueline Toboni. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
The hair, the dress, so chic.
Oh, wow. I appreciate that.
Yes. So let's talk about how you were discovered. I know you've told the story before, but it is really magical.
I mean, for the best thing that's ever happened to me, I can tell the story a million times, you know?
Well, tell it again. You were a student at the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Jim Koof, who's the executive producer, comes in to speak to the students, asks you to do a table read, and the rest is history. It changed your life. Tell us more.
Okay, so I showed up, 9 a.m. on a Friday to class, and Jim and his wife Lynn, who are the producers of Grimm, were in the class giving advice on the screenplay. I just happened to be in the class as an actor reading that screenplay, and they had auditioned like 800 girls. The final callbacks were on Monday. It was a Friday, and they said if any of these girls can read their weight up a paper bag, let's put them on tape and see what the studio and everybody thinks. So I put myself on tape that Saturday. 3 a.m. that night, I got a call that said, book a flight to LA. We're gonna have you read with these girls on Monday.
You were kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, so all of these LA actresses and going into this room with all the producers and writers and casting and everybody, I went in there and I used my training, did what I know how to do, and then next thing I knew, I was flying up to Portland to do a screen test with David Gintoli, whose birthday it is, by the way. So
happy birthday, David. So when you get that call, are you thinking to yourself, I'm being punked? Do you take it seriously? What goes through your mind?
I kind of thought it was like a favor, I was like, oh, they're just doing this, to help out University of Michigan or something like that, and then it just kept on happening, the ball just kept rolling, and I was like, oh gosh, this could actually happen. And when I got the call that I got the role, I was just elated, fell to the floor, crying, laughing. I love you, are you kidding me?
Wow.
So it was really fun.
But you skipped the whole bartending, waiting tables thing that you hear a lot of actors go through. So what do your peers say to you that didn't have that fate like yours and weren't as lucky?
It's really interesting. I was a little bit nervous about that because when something happens in a small community like an acting department, it's a little scary. You think people are going to get really competitive and not be nice about it. But at Michigan, it's kind of like a family. So when one of us succeeds, everybody in a way is succeeding because the Michigan name is getting, more recognition and things like that. So everyone was just so great and really happy for me. I got to watch my first episode with all my friends at school. So it was great.
That's so nice.
Very special.
Your character's named Trouble.
Yes.
You're a lovely girl.
Thank you.
But do you have an inner bad girl that you draw upon to play Trouble?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us more about her.
It's interesting. Growing up, I was kind of just the little rascal. That was such a hassle for everybody. So much energy. I used to be, part of the neighborhood group that would. I'd lead missions to doorbell ditch and put smoke bombs on people's doorsteps. So sorry about that, everyone in San Francisco. But yeah, so I'd say drawing upon that little girl that just wanted to be a tomboy so badly.
But your character has become a fan favorite. People are really drawn to her. Why do you think that is, and why do you think they're so drawn to the show as well?
I think there's something with the show that it's in this fairy tale world, but it's so easy to connect with these characters. Although it's heightened in terms of sci-fi and things like that, it still kind of hits you right at home, and you recognize these people. They're in your living room every Friday night, so you get close to them, and I think with Trouble, I am so impressed with how the fans have responded.
They love her. They love Trouble.
Right. Exactly. I think it's fun because they know Nick as a Grimm so well, and he's kind of the cop. And to have a Grimm that's a criminal and has that bad girl side, as you said, not really down with following the rules. It's kind of fun. It brings out the rebel in everyone,
Do you have fun killing people as well? I mean, you have swords and all kinds of things.
Yeah, I have
Did you know how to use the swords and guns and all that before this?
You have a machete.
I have a machete. It's like my weapon of choice. Who has a machete? It's amazing. I did stage combat at Michigan, and so I'm certified in stage combat. So I have a stunt double who's amazing, but we kind of walk through it together. It's a team effort. So I do most of my own stunts.
You do?
Ooh, what's the most dangerous thing you've done?
Yeah.
I ran onto a car and drop kicked somebody in the face.
Nice.
In the air, which was really cool. Scary but cool.
So
That is
badass.
cool. Yeah.
Jumped over a table, a lot of stuff. It's fun.
That's what I'm talking
It's
about.
a good time.
Can you show us how to do that now?
You know what? Right after cameras go down, I'm on it. I don't know in the dress if that's gonna work out for me. We'll see.
Well, many of the show's plot lines are based on the Grimm brothers fairy tales. Were you familiar with those tales growing up?
God, it's so interesting. My mom, right after I got cast, my mom was in my room clearing some stuff out, and she found a Grimm Brothers fairy tale book, and it was by my bedside all the time growing up, and she was like, oh God, this had to have been meant to be, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fairy tale within a fairy tale.
Wow. So do you have any favorite fairy tale or fairy tale characters?
I would say, you know, it's so typical, but Little Red Riding Hood, I think the first episode I watched was the pilot of Grimm, and it was so fun to see how they turned that fairy tale that's so overdone into something really cool and kind of dark and mysterious, and it was great.
People don't realize just how dark those fairy tales are until a little later in life, right?
Yeah, I mean, some of them you're reading them and you're like, oh God.
Someone's always dying.
Yeah.
Someone's parents are killed off.
Being eaten by a wolf. It's like, really?
Yeah.
For a 4-year-old?
So Grimm has already been renewed for a new season, which is very exciting. Will we be seeing a lot more of you in this season? What can we expect?
You know, I don't know. We ended with, in season 3 with Nick losing his powers. So scary, you know, he's the lead of the show and such, you know, the glue. And so I think Trouble might be his eyes and ears for a little bit because she's the only Grimm. So we'll see, you know, how she helps him out.
Okay, well, next season, come back, bring us some trouble, and your machete.
I'll bring my machete.
Yes,
How about that?
that's a deal. All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, of
and
course.
you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.